sack, by the way. That counts as a rushing loss against Brees. 4-yard loss. And on third down now, Brees guns it over the middle and is picked off at the 42-yard line. But no, they say incomplete. Ike Taylor comes away with the football.
Drew Brees has this thing where he throws the ball blindly, and part of the reason he's only 6 feet tall, so he doesn't see everything all the time. So he has to visualize where his receiver is. And you see that that's what they're doing. Playing him as a wide receiver mean that you have a corner on him. A tight end is easier to take away sometimes than a wide receiver.
Brees under pressure, running away from Porter, and then lofting it for his tight end. And that's why Antonio Gates, part of the reason last year he had a phenomenal year and set an NFL record for touchdowns by a tight end with 13. He's a former basketball player, and he went up and got the rebound, 16 yards.
Yeah, and that's what a quarterback on the run can do. See, one, he can buy time, and two, with his left hand, he can direct. So he's directing Antonio Gates. I'm outside. I have a little more time. You take it up. And Antonio
Gates and the similarities between the two sports.
And that's what Drew Brees is talking about. You know, that he has those basketball-type moves, and he's very good at the goal line. He's very good at using his body. If you just throw it up, he knows how to use his body. And he's going to get the ball. He said he jumps and he attacks balls. But that's not bad. You're using your body either to get position. But, you know, those are the extra things that Antonio Gates does.
Great comparison. Even had that crossover move in both sports. 2nd and 7, and here he is again with the tackle. The forward progress just outside the 40-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and 3.
We know Antonio Gates didn't play college football, so you know, if you say what's the last thing you did before you came into the NFL, and that was play basketball, those are the moves that you have to start with.
Antonio Gates, some impressive credentials in college basketball. First-team All-Mid-American Conference his senior year at Kent State. He told me the one thing he brings from the basketball court to the football field, hand-eye coordination, his ability to see the ball and catch it. But he says he's still struggling. He's still learning every day. He said sometimes he has trouble with coverage, gentlemen.
This is an interesting thing, Al, what the Chargers are doing here. They're not going back and huddling up. Here's the ball right here, and you can just see that they're huddling up right on the ball. Now, that does two things. It gets them to the line of scrimmage quicker. It lets Drew Brees look and read the defenses. And then it lets them, if you have confusion like you have right now, it gives you a little more time before that ball has to be snapped.
You know, at the huddle, they run the play clock all the way down, and then Brees hangs in there, and that is tipped, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by James Harrison, who looks like Edwin Moses on the run back, and brings it all the way back out to the 44-yard line. So there's one time out left.
This is where you like to not only throw it in the end zone, but throw it in the end line, the back line of the end zone.
2nd down and 8. Pick up the blitz. Brees over the middle. Touchdown. The tight end, Antonio Gates. And if there's a doctor in the house, that's just what he ordered.
It was a great move by Antonio Gates. It was a double move. He went one way, then back the other way, then back the first way.
And it takes San Diego no time at all to get back in it before they go into the locker room. And that was set up by that 48-yard kickoff return by the rookie Sproles.
You watch Antonio Gates. We said that he'll line up like a wide receiver. He'll start like he's going in, then he'll come back like he's going to the corner, and then go back in again. See, he made that move, and then he held up just enough. He didn't want to get in there where Polamalu was. Yeah, I mean, he saw him in there. He said, I'm not going to get in there. Now, we talk about Drew Brees, you know, only being 6 feet. So just before he throws, he has to get that ball up and making sure that he gets it up over those linemen so that he can get it to Antonio Gates.
3rd and 12. Blitz, 5-man rush, and they get to him. The pressure gets to him, and it is incomplete. James Farrier on the posse, and it's 4th down.
You know, and on that play, LaDainian Tomlinson had to be the blocker. James Farrier was coming in on him. Now, again, anytime they go to the dime defense, which the Steelers are in now, 75% of the time they blitz, and you see Tomlinson.
I couldn't foresee this. None of us could.
And the rest, as they say, is history in the making. That's incomplete, intended for Antonio Gates.
Have to get the ball to Eric Parker and Keenan McCardell.
Number 38, under pressure, almost lost the ball, then winds up hitting Gates. And you talk about turning nothing into a big something. James Harrison almost ended the play in the backfield, and the next thing you know, they're down to the 18-yard line.
They went maximum protection here, and this is why it just shows that you have to stay with the play. First of all, James Harrison is going to come in, and right there he hit Drew Brees just as he's throwing the ball. And watch out here as Gates is going, he almost had his helmet off. He's adjusting his helmet as he's running the pattern.
Turner now comes in as Tomlinson needs a rest for the moment. Turner the backup back, fake to him. Brees hangs in there. Brees deep downfield. That is incomplete, and here comes the flag. You knew that was coming. Polamalu hitting Antonio Gates.
Say, Polamalu and Antonio Gates have been going at it all night. I mean, he's been covering him, and Gates has to block Polamalu in the run, and you talk about, you know, playing after and those kinds of things. They've been doing it all night. Yeah, they were doubling Gates. They had the linebacker underneath, and Polamalu, the safety, was over the top of Antonio Gates.
And there's a huddle. The officials huddling.
Pass interference. Number 43 of the defense. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
So the officials have huddled more than the Chargers tonight.
Yeah, because the Chargers aren't even huddling. But watch this. You see the linebacker's going to run underneath. Polamalu has him up on top, so they kind of have him short and deep. And he just threw. It's been going on all night is Troy Polamalu against Antonio Gates, and they've been going after each other just about on every play. Before the play, during the play, after the play. Polamalu's looking for someone on an interception to block. He hit Gates so hard he knocked his hat right off. And here's Bill Cowher, I think, talking to him about that. You know, one is how you play Gates, but the other thing, we have to keep everything under control here. We can't lose our temper. We can't go crazy out there. We can't get penalties. Polamalu is a very, very tough guy.
2nd and 10. And the flag comes in, as you can see it, as the ball got to Antonio Gates. And again, Polamalu is right there in the middle of the action.
Yeah, he was waiting for him. Polamalu on that one. He's usually up towards the line of scrimmage. That time he was a deep safety. He was about 15 yards deep. Drew Brees led him right into that.
Number 51 of the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's illegal contact, not interference. It's simply a 5-yard call on Farrier.
That's Polamalu, how deep he is. See, he's just that deep safety, and they try and hit that seam route, and they try and get it to him before Polamalu, before you get to Polamalu. And I don't think Antonio Gates is too happy with that. You know, that you run a post and you run right in there to Troy Polamalu. I don't think so. Because you know that when you're running there, I mean, you may as well catch it anyway because there's going to be a heck of a collision. I don't know that I'd call that play.
Polamalu is 5'10", 212, well-distributed pounds. And Gates gets tackled by Polamalu at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, and he's all over the field. If you run, it seems like Troy Polamalu is always up at or around the line of scrimmage. And when you pass, he's always there to make the tackle, too. I mean, he probably has about 10 tackles tonight.
He's one of these guys, yeah, you watch him play, and you can't avoid him. He's in on everything. And everything is perfect. And Reed with one of those mid-range grounders. So they get it back to Sproles at the 23-yard line. And Sproles can get it back to only about midfield.
The bus is back. Troy Polamalu in here now, getting it done on defense. We saw you on Antonio Gates all night. What was that like for you?
It was a long day. He's a great tight end. There's a lot of great tight ends in this league, so it's nice to face him early and get a feel for these receivers slash, tight ends. So.
Well, congratulations, Troy. Troy and Jerome Bettis. Al, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Sam. And again, no